Welcome to AI Watch. My name is Björn. I'm the Chief Data Scientist at 2021 AI, and today I host Bent Dalager from KPMG. Could you tell us a bit about your role in KPMG? What are you doing?
Yes, I'm running the KPMG NewTech on a Nordic level. Also the founder of that, and I'm a part of the advisory group at KPMG Global. In another aspect, I'm actually leading the digitalization group in IT branchen, the IT Association, and a part of the Digital Wise Men Council in the academy as well. So I have a lot of different hats.
No, very, very interesting. I think especially when we come to, and that's also a bit our topic today, right? Generative AI and governing generative AI is obviously very important, right?
Yeah.
But before we get to that, what is generative AI from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, generative AI is naturally the new guy on the block, if you will. And it's not new, but what happened was really that we have been working with machine learning and in the aspects of using neural networks for a long time. And the issue has been to sort of lift it to the next level. And what happened was in 2017, there was these Google researchers was able to make a new kind of math that was able to bring things that seemingly was not very contextually related to become contextually related. And this was what they call a transformer model, hence the T in the GPT. So generative AI is a piece of AI that is able, if you put in a question, then it's able to generate an answer. And it can be across all kinds of topics. So it's actually a little bit like a general and generative AI at the same time, where most AI is focused at a specific thing. So for instance, detecting breast cancer or finding the right price for a stock or something like this. This is something that knows things across.
Yeah, and that ability, and you also touched upon that, the translation of languages, and so comes kind of out of the box, right? So that from my perspective also would open up a lot for a lot of different business opportunities in using that. So how do you see generative AI now being so versatile in the usage to transform businesses?
It has a huge potential. You know, we have done a paper for the Danish industry on this, and using the sources as well. And what we can see is that it actually will affect about 80% of sort of all jobs, which is quite a lot. And then for those jobs, the impact will be quite different depending on the job. From a business opportunity perspective, it's huge, and it's very different from what we have seen before, because the neural network that has been trained, regardless whether this is GPT or BART or whatever, has a huge, you can say a huge amount of knowledge in a lot of different topics. So whether you are in legal or whether you are in HR or whether you are in finance, all of these different aspects is something that it has a basic knowledge about, and it's able to converse with you on the topics. And that also goes across industries. For natural reasons, the industries that are really impacted are the service industries mainly. Not so much when we come to construction, when we come to people that are doing drilling, you know, that are service people, that it is in the receptionists, etc., etc. Mainly the people that are doing what we call white collar work.
Yeah. So
and I know you're wearing a blue collar today,
but pretty good today, right?
But you know what I mean, and that's where we see the big impact.
Yeah. So it's kind of, we could say, industrial revolution for the office worker.
Yes.
In essence, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Where some of the work, some of the more easier works without thinking too much, that can get automated, or supported at least.
Yeah.
Right? What are then, when we dig a bit more deeper into, let's say we have a finance, a bank, right? Only white collar work primarily. What are then specific use cases you see there?
Yeah, I think it's a good question in two ways, because I think when we started helping our clients with rolling out generative AI, we actually also were sort of looking for specific use cases and say, okay, this is a use case. Is there a business case for this? Maybe we can do it.
Yeah.
But actually that's using the old way of looking at this technology. That's like looking at this like this was robotic process automation, or if this was machine learning, you know. Because you don't ask these questions for general things like Excel, like PowerPoint. You don't ask, oh, what are you using Excel for? Well, I'm using it for this thing. Okay, that's not enough. We cancel Excel. Yeah. And I think this is very important that the key productivity in the first wave will come out of people that are using it more or less out of the box. And when I say more or less, it has to be in a regulated environment. Begin to make a model that is regulated and constrained.
So rather to help the client, you know, using it for certain things, it's more how do we deliver the model regulated, secure for the client, so they can, without any fear, start to experiment themselves.
Yes, exactly. So a lot of ideas can come up from the ground. And it's very much about ensuring that you are supporting this also as a company. Having people sort of sneaking around and maybe using GPT on their mobile and stuff like this, which is happening all over the place. Yes. I mean, it was even in another, there was a radio program where this was the topic. People could call in and the topic was, should I tell my employer that I'm using ChatGPT? You know, so it should not be a hidden thing. It should be promoted. And now, with this version coming in as a co-pilot in Microsoft, then you will also be able to use it in Teams meetings where it basically listens in and give you
can even embed it into Teams.
Exactly. What is a common misunderstanding is that when you ask and converse with generative AI, then a lot of people think that it's out there to find out a solution. It goes to the internet and finds something and gets back and condense. That's not how it works. It's a big brain that already knows everything that it has read. If you have a big brain that knows a lot about almost everything, what will you use a big brain for in a company? A lot is my answer.
Yeah,
you know,
you just need to direct it probably as well, right?
So
use it in a credit case. You don't want to have any knowledge about, I don't know, programming, for example.
Yeah, but it's like you know, if you're doing credit, you know a lot about, I don't know, skiing as well. But it doesn't prevent you from dealing with credit. Yeah. Right now I'm sitting and I want to make this Excel spreadsheet and I'm having a forecast I want to do. I'm spending a lot of time on getting it right and getting the columns right, getting the data in. Now I can basically say, fine, you know, I have these data, I would like to use this report from the competitor, which is public information. Please, with this report, tell me what it tells and compare this to this other spreadsheet. And then it basically does it. So instead of doing the tedious work, you can do work in asking instead of answering.
What would you say are the biggest, you know, hurdles, challenges when actually using it? Is it the governance, or is it maybe the fear of people being obsolete now with this revolution?
Yeah, it's not the thing about becoming obsolete. I mean, that's not what we're getting back. It's a lot on regulation. So there's a little bit of a misconception that this is extremely dangerous, which is not the case, but that takes a lot of time. That's what is a hindrance right now. And then the belief, because people don't know how it works, that it will be a problem. Instead of having people worry because they maybe are using, let's say, GPT-4 or something, you know, ensure that you make a framework so you can control what is being asked about. Then it will call a model. Then things come back and you can control what is coming back. That is how you should do it, because in this way you are in control as a company.
Which might also obviously differ from use case to use case, right?
Yeah, because
could be also a set where you run your own LLM, right? And utilize that same framework.
Exactly. That's a good point, because the framework will allow you to have not just one model. Yep. It could be several models, and it could be your own model for that matter, or at least an open source model that you have trained.
Exactly. If you would give recommendations for the way ahead, what would be your best recommendation on how to get started with these?
Step one is to know what this is. So what is it able to do and what is it not that good at? Get some knowledge. Second point, create a framework where you can have your employees playing around with this. That would be the second thing. And make sure that this fits your requirements from a regulatory perspective as well. And then the third one is begin to teach not only about that, but especially about the whole prompting. This thing about talking to a model and talking to data is completely new for everyone. They think, in many cases it's Google, because that's what we're used to as humans now. But they should actually learn to talk to the model. More advanced will be to begin to think about how I can work in a new way. Not just doing what I'm doing, but basically doing some new stuff that is now possible.
Thank you everyone for watching this session of AI Watch with Ben from KPMG. If you like to know more, reach out to us via email, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new session of AI Watch.